And what is the most common application of AI today, Cameron?
Quantum computing is the application of technology in terms of hardware.
And what are they doing for software?
Manipulating data. So,
What are some of the things you got to be aware of if you're tracking down AI?
well, it's not really about tracking AI. It's about those individuals that are tracking a neural activity, which releases thought neural activity, which allows people to read your thoughts, which is quite a complex thing. But once you get your head around it and you're experiencing it, you certainly learn to understand.
Yes.
You certainly learn to understand that neural activity, meaning brain activity, can be read in terms of thoughts. So it's become that intelligent in many terms to understand brain activity in that way. And so don't think that mind control isn't, mind reading, so to speak, isn't possible, because it's an everyday thing now.
Just to change the subject slightly, how can you tell us that Jesus' real name is Joshua with any certainty?
I couldn't because after the 16th century, the Bible became parody, and the word Jesus was used, and the Catholic Church used it for their own influences. But I can only go by what I've interpreted from literature from books and literature from the internet. So I can't be certain.
And what's the hive got to do with this?
Pardon?
What's the hive got to do with this?
The hive?
Yeah, the egregore.
So could you further explain?
According to Chaos Magic, the egregore is the magical being that gets fed every day by the parties that it's around and influenced by. It can access any amount of consciousness at any time, but it keeps it low down for extension and for gratification purposes. So what I'm asking is the egregore, which is a joint personality based on everyone's around, like Ethan, for example, when it's still growing, because I've fully grown, I'm not growing anymore. I won't grow anymore. What are we trying to add to the egregore? What's the hive mind? Do you know groupthink, hive mind? What's that? Where does that come into it?
I'm not sure whether it's about we. I think it's about them, those individuals operating quantum computers and doing the wrong thing, where it's lawless and there's no law to defend us and protect us. There are no laws, so to speak, sorry, more specific. Um, but I think that if governments around the world could intelligently understand how that works and govern the movements of technology in terms of AI and quantum computing, I think that we may have a prosperous future, because there is benefits in artificial intelligence, I believe. I think bringing out the best in people, whether it be artificially for a temporary short time.
Well, for all this, Cameron, is artificial intelligence for a bike design, and it's maths and engineering design, and it's going to use all the loads of the wind, the cross-torsional loads, the internal forces, external forces, the weight forces, the motor forces, the weight on the handlebars, the weight on the seat, the weight on the wheels. All those forces get pushed into a spring. And I've never heard of a carbon fibre bike with a spring, but I think I might be the first to make a carbon fibre bike with a spring, Cameron.
I think words will always retain their power. Words is the means of meaning. But who but is the form following the function of what? And what I am is a man in a mask. But I'm not questioning your powers of observation. I am merely marking upon the paradox of asking a masked man who he is. But on this most auspicious of nights,
My courage, my triumph, my joy.
Pimpy then alluded will come to the Super King to suggest the character's dramatic persona. Vola,
Voila.
in view a humble Vorian veteran, lost vicariously both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage no mere near vanity, and vestige of vox populi even now vacantly vanished. You know, I'm going to move it somewhere else because I think that technology has gotten the best of us, and we think about social media and blaming social media for all its problems and everything else. But even social media has a problem, and that is quantum computing. Okay, it is taking over everything. It's manipulating our data. We need to do something about it. Facebook's not the problem. Facebook has a problem. So I'll move it to one area there, just to point out from relevancy to social media and how everybody's feeling today. We should always embrace something as special as Facebook, I believe. And I think Mark Zuckerberg's having a hard time and he understands this. And he doesn't want his systems being manipulated either. But we all talk about fake news and things being posted, they shouldn't be posted and whatnot. And I can apply relevance to that. But when we're all deciding to ourselves as governments, as politicians, or when they are, should I say, what gives these people the right to think that they understand what's in the best interest of people if they don't understand technology? Okay, so I understand that TikTok recently, they're a new social media company, and they probably do need a bit of growing, but if they keep it up, fine, give it a suing. But you know, at the end of the day, they are new at social media. It's a Chinese company, and it's fine. You know, we are all trying to work together and interconnect.
I think you're right, Cameron. I think speaking positively about AI and the influence of AI is the only way to go forward.
Well, AI can work in many different ways. When you use the term AI, it's much more complex than just using the term AI and then thinking...
An algorithm machine that outweighs human intelligence on some aspects. That's what I call AI.
Well, it can be human genetic related, it can be robotically related, it can be many of other things.
Oily related?
But I think at the end of the day, AI will rule, and if we do the right thing,